Hi, Boom. Boom. Hi, everybody. What's up, everybody? Hi, Kentucky. How are you? I have kinfolk in Kentucky, actually. That's what they call it, kinfolk. I'm doing well. How are you? More likes can attract more viewers. One of my friends is live. I'm doing well, Boise boy. Boise boy, how are you doing? Hi, Charles. How are you? I'm going to stand up. Hi there. How's everybody doing? I just posted a video and hope that people view it. How's everybody's Friday? I'm glad you're doing well. I think I remember you. So how's everybody's Friday? Hi, Ramon. How are you doing? Madison County, Kentucky. Oh, hi, Colin. How are you? My voice is hoarse. My Friday's okay. I'm kind of agitated. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but I think that's how I always feel. I never feel satisfied with what I've accomplished. But I did a new video, and I hope that people watch it. I wish that I had, Illinois. I wish I had someone to help me. You know, sometimes it's hard to know how we come across. And I made about 4 or 5 videos a little bit ago, and one of them, although it was brutally honest, I felt like it was kind of negative, and I don't know, I didn't post it, but it was definitely, if I was trying to lose weight and I was in an abusive marriage like I used to be, I would want to hear, oh, I see somebody walking their dog. I would want to hear what I had to say in this video. Thanks, Colin. Long Island, New York. I don't think I've been there. How are you doing? What? Is it, yeah, it's cold. Is it cold in Scotland? Hi, Camp Oh, I remember you from Germany. I can't wait to go back to Germany. Pittsburgh, Wisconsin. Wow. Oh, it's snowing. It's cold here. I don't like it. I used to love the cold, and now I don't know, there's something about being in the sun. It just makes me happy when it's warm. I guess I think about summertime when I was younger and having summers off and not having to work. I think that's definitely in my mind. I'm in Texas, but I'm in North Texas, so it's actually pretty cold right now. It's freezing in my house. I just finally turned the heat on. How's everybody doing? Totally. I remember that name too. So what's going on in everybody's life right now? Anybody have anything good happen to them today? Surely someone has something positive to say. I'm trying to think of what positive thing happened to me. I shared a really good book with my son. Hi, Joe. How are you? It has been a while. I still wear those wonderful tennis shoes. They're my favorite shoes, actually. I wear them almost every day. But I shared the book, The Road Less Traveled, with my 18-year-old son today, and he said he was going to read it. So, oh, sure, Richard. Here. Has anybody read The Road Less Traveled? As I was telling my son, the first sentence in that book is, life is difficult. And when I read that book, when I was I think I read it in high school or college, I don't remember which one, but that book helped me I think, grow up and realize life is difficult for everyone. At that time, I was, of course, immature and thought that it was just me that life seemed so difficult for. But no, life is just difficult, period. And the sooner we accept it, anyway, I gave my son that book, so hopefully he's reading it right now. That's what I hope, anyway. You notice that I was wearing them. I love them. I don't like that much how they look, but I love the shoes. I have a serious foot problem, unfortunately. We all have problems, but they really help my feet. They help me walk and be active and do what I want to. So I was going to go to the gym today, but was derailed by some different things and haven't gone live in probably a week or so. There's so many videos, I have so many ideas, and I've just had one thing after another happen to not prevent me, but life, sometimes gets in the way of doing what we want to do. But I have a lot of ideas about a video series that I want to do, in addition to my book. And I wish that I knew, there's all kinds of levels of people needing help. Some people didn't struggle so much with their weight like I always have, but I was a really difficult case, and I could never, all the help that I tried to get, I've had weight loss surgery, I had a lap band, and I'm doing this to show you my scar, to prove, I don't know if you can see it, I know you can, scar right there. Anyway, it just shows me that weight loss and maintenance is all in the mind. And despite having a forced, thank you for the rose, despite having a forced constricture on my stomach, when I say forced, well, now I'm getting hot. I lost 5 or 10 pounds with the lap band, but for me, I definitely had to address all of my eating issues. I still do. That was something else that was difficult for me to understand. I thought that I'd always read and been told by counselors, read for years, that you need to make peace with food, have a healthy relationship with food. But for some people like me, that's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. It's like telling an alcoholic, well, you need to develop a healthy relationship with alcohol. That way you can just have, well, no, that's impossible for some people. They just have to completely abstain. And that's how I am with many kinds of food, unfortunately. All of it is processed. Natural, real, wholesome foods, fruits and vegetables, I have no problem with. I've never had a problem binging on green beans or apples. And I remember when I was in Weight Watchers, and I did Weight Watchers for years, and this woman that I had so much respect for, she was like the head, I can't remember what her title was, but I was really impressed with her because she had been obese like me, and she'd actually lost it and kept it off. And so I listen to people that achieve what I want to achieve. I don't listen to people that learned and became educated about weight loss. To me, that person doesn't know. They haven't lived it. So how could they possibly know what it's like for someone like me? Anyway, this one weight loss counselor at Weight Watchers said, to know if you're truly hungry, do the green bean test. And I thought, the green bean test, what's that? And what the green bean test is, when you're trying to figure out if you truly are hungry physically, or if it's more of an emotional hunger, which I had a lot. If you eat a can of green beans, even think about eating a can of green beans. Does it appeal to you? If you eat the green, for instance, I usually had emotional hunger or issues that made me want to eat. And if I thought about eating a can of green beans, I'd usually think, ugh, I don't want that, yuck. I want something like goldfish or croissants or ice cream or cookies or ding-dongs or chocolate or, I could go on and on about all that stuff. But the green bean test tells you if you are truly hungry. So and that was like that was longer than 20 years ago. That was a good 25 years ago, and I always remembered it because it's a baseline for me. If I want to know if I'm truly hungry versus an emotional hunger or emotional upset or however you want to, whatever words you want to give to it, think about and eat a can of green beans. If you are truly hungry, then you'll eat the green beans. And I don't think once have I ever eaten, of course I've eaten green beans. I like green beans. But I have to self-monitor and think about whether or not I'm truly hungry. And I went, hi, April, how are you doing? I'm sorry, Colin, I didn't answer you. I'm doing well. Thank you for saying you're proud of me. I'm proud of me too. And that was something that, I'm going to close my blinds. See, I know that seems arrogant, but let me show you something. This is what I'm used to. This is me with my middle son. This is, in my mind's eye, I wouldn't say I'm quite that fat in my mind's eye, but I'm definitely not lean in my mind's eye. And so I take pictures of myself, video, because it's weird when you've been that heavy for decades and it's affected your life in a very negative way for decades. It's kind of like the opposite of anorexia, I guess you could say. Now, I just made that up, but that's truly what I think. And I'm sure that there's something to it. But I need the satisfaction of, hey, I'm doing all this. I need to see the results. And so that actually helps me. It helps me to take pictures of myself and to look at myself in the mirror and say, it's worth it. It works. It's worth it. I don't look like this anymore. There's another picture. I'm having video. I have so many videos with my kids, my sons, and I thought I need to put some of the video of when I was so overweight into some of my TikTok videos, but I'm having to make it into a digital format. So anyway, I'll be doing that soon. Oh, brother. Here's another picture of me behind my sons, trying to hide them, of course. Thank you for muting that ridiculous person. Close the blinds. Who is the moderator that did that? Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. It's so dumb. The things, it's just stupid, the things people, I think it's funny instead of insulting. I have worked so hard to become who I am. And I'm not saying that I'm great. I'm not great, believe me. There's a lot of things wrong with me. But at least I've conquered my weight issues, and I feel very in control of my weight issues. And for me, that's everything, because I couldn't control myself pretty much my whole life, and that's very sad. Purchase, rather, I don't know what that means. Thank you for the rose. Thank you. Just dropped a picture. I have so many. And that's something else. When you're that heavy, you don't want to take pictures. Hi, Joey. How are you? Live, my podcast. it is a lot of mental health work. You're very smart. You're very wise. It is. And it's, there's, for me, not that everyone is like me, because I know not everyone is. We're all different. But for me, the amount of mental work that I had to do took me years, years. Well, I'm not perfect, but thank you. Hi, I'm in Texas too. One of the things that I tell people as far as losing weight, think about why. Why do you want to lose weight? What will change when you lose weight? What will change exactly? Who are you losing weight for? I tried to lose weight for my now ex-husband, and I definitely wanted to lose weight for myself too. But when your husband calls you two-ton tuna, fat bitch, shut your pie hole, I have to look at that, talking about me, made me feel like, I knew that what he said was horrible and cruel, and I thought, well, what kind of love is that? That's not love. Anyway, it definitely affects you. And I have a lot of anger about it. And I use that anger, not just with my ex-husband, but I think about all of the experiences in life that I missed out on because I was so fat. And I really did. And I have a lot of anger and hurt from all of that. And I use that anger and hurt to give me the inner strength to make myself do what I need to do so that I can maintain my weight loss. Because maintaining a massive weight loss is extremely difficult. It can be done, though. It can be done. Well, thank you. Well, anger is a very powerful emotion. Well, it's true, but it wasn't just him that. No, my motivation, I'm glad you said that. My motivation was definitely based on self-love. It took me, I didn't lose it until I was in my mid-40s. Do you know how sad that is? How tragic that is? So I have a mixture of every emotion there is. And when I say, and it's easy to be misunderstood because I'm not talking one-on-one to you. And so you can't, you don't really know where I'm coming from. You don't know me, but I'm not an angry person. But I have learned how to harness strong emotions to make myself do what I need to do to make what I want to have happen. And I draw from those emotions and that anger and other emotions, not just anger, all the time to control myself. I also use music to control myself to a great degree. Wait, you were in your mid-40s? Well, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Oh, thank you. This is a neat shirt. I like it too. Well, I did have skin surgery, brachioplasty. I don't know why everything looks yellow, but it's quite a scar. Goes to my elbow, all the way down, both arms, of course. And then I had 3 C-sections, but I had what's called a 360, a transverse abdominis. And I'm pretty hard on myself. I admit it. I'm hard on myself, but I feel like if I'm not hard on myself, then I refuse to let myself relapse. No way in hell is that ever going to come back on my body. And so I'm hard on myself. So be it. I've controlled it. So it's not a diet, and I hate that word. There, you just were blocked forever. Anyway, well, thank you, but there's no way to lose over 100 pounds. I shouldn't say no. Nothing's ever final, but it's very unlikely that if you lose 100 pounds or more that you would ever You're going to have loose skin. I can't wait to show you my pictures of my loose skin my mom took. I remember going like this, and oh, my stomach, it was just disgusting. And then my arms, no matter how strong and how much I lifted weights, how much I have big triceps. I haven't been doing my triceps as much. And to be honest, I would love to have another surgery. But no matter how muscular I became, in my mind, I thought maybe I could avoid, who wants to have skin removal surgery? Nobody. But it didn't matter how muscular I became. It didn't matter. You can't lose that much weight and be middle-aged and not have loose skin. That's all there is. That's all there is to it. And you can use Care Credit if that still exists. I think it does. And Care Credit will let you charge the surgery. I did lift weights 100 times for my arms, and the loose skin came right off. Okay. All right. I lost 110 pounds, 44% of my body weight. I stopped weighing myself at about 250 pounds. I just couldn't do it anymore. I don't think that I went up past, if I did go up past 250, I don't think it was much, but I was really in denial, and I'm 57 now. Some of the things you guys say. What made me lose the weight? I wanted to live. Your screen froze. Oh, no one said that to me. Thank you. I judge myself by how much I get done. I guess you could say I'm a super type A personality. That's what I've been told, because I like to get as much done as I can every day, but lifting weights and exercise are always a priority in my mind. And the first thing I think of when I awaken in the morning, what am I going to do today that's active, that will help me maintain my weight loss, that I will enjoy? Because if you don't enjoy it, if it's not fun, if it's a drudgery, guess what? You already know. You won't keep it up. At least I couldn't keep it up. It has to be fun. You have to look forward to it. Even if you make up games in your mind and you make up scenarios in your mind that aren't true. And I'll get more into that later. But I created an alter ego. I didn't even create it. It just happened, that I call my monster. And it sounds dumb probably to you guys, but it's very real to me and very painful to me. But visualization and me, the healthy part of my brain, visualizing this monster that takes over what I really want to accomplish and defeats me and sabotages me despite all my efforts and desires and knowledge. It didn't matter, because this part of me took over, and it didn't care. So I had to figure out a way to contain my monster so that it didn't sabotage my efforts. And I wish that I should talk to, I don't really know what that is. I haven't talked to a therapist or a psychologist about what I did. I just know I did it, and it's very powerful, because for someone as diehard, I can't even get across to you the amount of eating issues that I had and still have, but I control them, is just unreal. I've never known anyone or read about anyone that had as many different eating issues as me. And it's not fair. Life isn't fair. It's not fair I was dealt that hand. And it took me, like I said, until my mid-40s, until I could finally figure out how to control my monster. And I still fight her every day. through very extreme measures. But so what? At least I controlled her. We all have to do what we have to do. As I said earlier in my live, I've read and been told so many times, make peace with food. You have to make peace with food. Well, not for me. For me, I can't have certain foods in the house. And there's a lot. There's a lot. Try living with someone like me. You can't bring ice cream or cookies or candy or chocolate in the house. I'll find it. I'll eat it all. You'll never even know. I'm laughing, but it's really sad. I'm intelligent and educated, and I have a strong will. And yet, if you bring that into my house, I can't control myself, especially as the day passes. I get weaker and weaker and weaker. And so when I say extreme measures, I have a second refrigerator. Actually, I have two refrigerators in the garage. One of them has a big chain lock on it. I don't want to see that food. I don't want to know it exists. I don't want to know anything about it. As long as I don't see it, I'm okay. But if I see it, then my mind starts to obsess over it until I can get it. And I've actually cut the chain twice when it was a smaller chain, which sounds stupid and ridiculous, I'm sure, but that just shows you how strong this drive is for me to eat. And I just wait until I write my book or I finish my book and I tell you some of the stories that are really quite, they're funny. I can, look down and think that's not me and then imagine how it is to other people. But it's really quite tragic and horrific what I've gone through. It's not, most people don't have to go through all that to lose weight. Why do people do that? I guess you just have no life, obviously. Food Susians. Yes, you're right. I started doing that overeating. You're very wise, Tiffany. My mom, when my parents divorced, my mom left me a lot on the weekends when she dated. And I was only 11 and she would leave me. She would come home at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And so I used food. I just sat in front of the TV and and it made me feel better. And I got into a habit. Food was always there. It gave me pleasure. I was excited about it. I looked forward to it. And I'm still like that. I think I'm like that more than a lot of people. It gives me such great pleasure, unfortunately. Well, thank you for your kind words. Thank you. Do you have a condition? No. You know what? If I don't know, Dixon cider. Well, it's not just women, Bobby. A lot of men have eating issues too. Food when yes, that's why I've done so many different kinds of outpatient therapy for my eating issues. And one of the last place I went to was actually it was for drug addiction. And I thought, why am I going here? I've never done drugs. I've never had a desire to do, it's just not me. My thing is food. But it turns out it made complete sense. When I did their program, we just substituted the word, it was either alcohol or drugs with food. And it was all the same. And I was just amazed. And I thought that I knew so much about it at that time. And obviously, but it was a lot more than just an addiction for me. It was everything to me. It was my best friend. It made my anxiety feel better. It made my depression feel better. It soothed me in so many ways. It reminded me of being a kid again. And it did everything for me. And the problem is, as you all know, We have to deal with food every day. It's not like alcohol or drugs where you can just get it out of your house or your life. You always have to have food in your life. So it was very difficult for me. Yes. The Well, my ex was a malignant narcissist. I've read that about it. Well, thank you, Tiffany. You're very kind. Thank you. Yes, late night snacking. Whew, but for some people, self-control with food, I can feel, I'll tell you something, one of my biggest problems, I shouldn't say biggest problems, I have a lot of problems, but bubble gum. You know, the bubble gum that's in the big bags. I love to talk about it too because I love bubble gum so much. But the bubble gum that is in the big bags in the candy section, I like to smell. This is how much I love it. When I'm in the grocery store, and did this just 3 days ago, I'm like an expert on bubble gum, and I like to smell it. I can smell it through the bag, and then I squish the pieces of bubble gum, and I can tell how fresh it is. And if it's fresh bubble gum, then I can't help but buy it. But I know that as soon as I start eating one piece of bubble gum, that's it. I go, there's something about unwrapping it. I like unwrapping it, and I like the way it feels and looks, and I like popping it in my mouth, and then I love chewing it, and then I chew it just enough to get all the sugar out, and then I like the process of putting it back in the wrapper, and then getting another piece, and over and over and over, and then I have this huge pile of bubble gum stuck in wrappers, and then I feel disgusted with myself, but I have this sugar high, so I have these mixed feelings of this sugar high, and then self-loathing. So what I do now is I put the bubble gum, before I even take one piece, I put the bubble gum into one of my food safes. And then I get out 5 pieces. That's what I'll let myself have. Did somebody say kryptonite? Oh. No, not the bazooka, the double bubble, or my favorite is super bubble, but I can't find that anywhere now. I think I bought it on Amazon, but I had to buy this giant tub, and that turned out to be a nightmare because guess what? Anyway, what I'm trying to say is there are ways to deal with food addictions and compulsions despite having issues for years or decades. And I taught myself all of this. I was determined to find a way, and I did. I did Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem. Oh my gosh, Overeaters Anonymous. I started doing that in college, and that was a joke to me because everybody would talk about how they couldn't control themselves. This is Overeaters Anonymous that I'm talking about. Everybody would talk about how they couldn't control themselves with food, but then they were all each other's support system, and then they would all go out to eat at a restaurant and overeat, and I couldn't respect that. I needed someone that I could, or something that I could look up to, and I didn't look up to that. None of those people were successful to me. I needed someone that had been there and succeeded, and that's what I am. I have been so obese I could hardly walk. I used to wear a brace from my knee, and it's called an AFO brace. It was a hard brace, like Forrest Gump, from the bottom of my knee to the end of my toes, and I could hardly walk. I was so heavy. I have a deformed foot and ankle. I've had my left foot and ankle reconstructed twice just so I could walk. So, and I'm saying that not to, as my ex-husband would say, you want people to feel sorry for you. Sorry, I shouldn't even talk. But I still hear his nasty remarks, and no, that's not why I'm saying it. I'm saying it because if someone as far gone as me can lose that much weight and keep it off with all my issues, very, very serious issues, my message is then other people can too. It's not too late. It's never too late. Don't buy into it. Don't believe it. You have more control than you think. I lost 110 pounds. Well, thank you, Sassafras. You're right. I am hard on myself. I am hard on myself, and I'll be honest, I always have the fear that I'll gain it back. How could I not? And I'm not going to lie. There are so many people that are dishonest about weight loss, and I will not lie. I will not lie about any of it. It's too intimate to me. I lived it. I'm not going to lie. Weight loss is very difficult, especially if you have a lot to lose, and especially if you've been obese for a long time like me. But it's possible. It is more possible than you think. Yeah, I think it's a valid fear. Thank you for the rose. Yes, I had skin removal surgery. I had a brachioplasty on both arms, and I had a 360, pulls up all that skin, and I had it over my 3 C-sections. But I get very emotional about all of this because I lived it for so long. How could I not? I feel like I have a strong, for some reason, not some reason, I have a very strong desire to share what I lived through and what I've achieved with other people, because I want other people to know it can be done. It's not too late. I never thought that I would lose. I never thought I'd be able to. No one that knew me thought that I would be able to lose weight. None of us. Well, thank you. I don't know who Carla is. You lost 100 pounds, kept it off 20, slowly gained it back. Now my way back down. Good for you, Carla. Oh, you were talking. Okay, sorry. I hope so. I hope that it helps someone else. To me, I mean, how would I know how it is for other people? But I've said to people many times, I would have rather had a drug problem or an alcohol problem instead of having such serious food issues, because we always have to live, our whole society is geared around food. Christmas, whatever you celebrate this time of the year, guess what? Food is involved, and I hate that. I don't like it. I don't like, but there are ways to deal with that, and that's another aspect of my book. Some of the things that you can do to prepare yourself. My normal weight is 130. I'm 180. You can do it. You can do it. You have to believe in yourself. What I used to tell myself when I was actually losing it, when I finally felt like I was really serious about losing weight, I would tell myself, okay, I'm really serious. I'll do anything. I'll do anything. I know it's going to be painful. I know I'll suffer. But then in my mind, I thought, but I need to lose it immediately. I want it gone now. Well, it doesn't work that way. So I had to figure out a way to be satisfied with very unnoticeable gains, despite feeling hungry and having that emptiness in my mind and my body. You have to replace it with something else. And people that say, well, you just need to follow a meal plan and then BS. There's so much more to it than following a meal plan. That's a bunch of, all the people that sell you meal plans are doing is making money off of you. That's what they're doing. You're not going to lose your weight and maintain it with just following a meal plan unless you change the reasons and the things that you do now that sabotage your efforts. Following a meal plan is a very small part of it. We've already been suffering. I got a lap dog and he helps a lot. I should do something like that. I have a cat and he's not very friendly. Our family revolves around food. Yes. Oh, I am mentally strong, but I'm still human, and I should get I've thought about that too. I need a lap dog. Food is expensive, and I do remember um, what I've done. Like I said earlier, I did Jenny Craig for about 3 years, and I actually was a Jenny Craig weight loss counselor. And to be honest, Jenny Craig really did teach, I thought, very solid, logical ways of thinking and how to lose weight. Out of everything I've ever done, and I consider myself an expert, I'm 57 and I've been trying to lose weight and figure out how to lose weight since I was 11. I doubt very many people can say that succeeded like me. So if it's a diet or a company or a psychologist or a specialized psychologist or group counseling, I did it. And I synthesized all that information and I took what I considered the best parts of it, and that's what I created for myself. That's how I did it. It's not like I'm not a fast learner. It took me decades to figure out, and I spent a lot of money too. That's where any extra money I had, it went into paying for, I thought, meal plans. I thought if I could just stick to this meal plan. Well, guess what? Unless you work on your mind and the way that you cope with life and the reasons that you gained weight in the first place, following a meal plan, you might lose weight. You might be able to keep it up for a month. Forget it. If you can keep it up past that and lose weight and keep that weight off, more power to you. You're better than me, because I sure couldn't do that. I couldn't just follow Jenny Craig's meal plan. It wasn't enough. I was still hungry, and I used to get into arguments with the weight loss counselors. I remember getting into an argument. They even called the head nutritionist in New York. I was in Texas, and I would tell her, but I'm always hungry. I've eaten breakfast, lunch, dinner, and all three snacks by 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Talk about feeling defeated and depressed. I ate all my meals before 12 because I was so hungry. How do you deal with that? Talk about feeling like you'd never lose weight. That's 5-H. Yes, you're right about 5-HTP, unless you're on an antidepressant already. Am I happy with myself now? That's part of what I always tell people that I know. One of my secrets is that I don't let myself feel satisfied with myself. And I question whether or not that's really good for me. I'm hard on myself, and I guess I am satisfied with myself, but there are a lot of other things that I want to work on in my life that I get agitated with myself about. But that's just part of growing as a human. I would think everybody would be like that. Doesn't everyone try to better themselves all the time? I showed this picture earlier. I was happy. I love my sons, but you can't tell. That's really not a very good picture. I have so many other pictures and video. Here I am with my middle son. I was in the 200s. I was enormous. Something else that I think is hilarious is my whole life, I thought, until I lost weight, I thought I was big boned. I wasn't big boned. I was just fat. I actually have really little bones. And I've talked to my mom about that, and I said, how is it that you told me and I thought that I was so big boned? I'm not big boned. I have really, really small bones. I was just so fat. And that was like my norm, was just to be fat. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Looks aren't, believe me, looks are not everything. They're nothing if you don't have people that love you and people that you love. It's meaningless. Looks only go so far. I want to be healthy. I want to live as long as I can. I want to feel good about myself. and know that I've actually conquered my monster. Your stories are so familiar. Really? I ain't never seen no Well, thank you. Some of the stories that my mom is probably the only person that knows how strong my food drive is. And you know how there's some dogs that have this real strong food, they have a high food drive, and some have a high prey drive. And I have a high food drive, and I'm going to tell the story real fast, then I have to go. But I had my first foot and ankle reconstruction so I could get out of a brace and walk. And my mom took care of me after I had the procedure because I had little kids at home. And so I stayed with her in her house in Pasadena, Texas. And anyway, so it was a really horrific, pretty barbaric surgery. They cut my ankle. Yeah, I can't really show you. They actually cut my ankle in half. My foot is so messed up. Anyway, I had this this metal stainless steel hook that poked out of my foot. To this day, I still don't remember why in the world I had that, but I had a very serious surgery. Anyway, I was in a lot of pain. It was the night of I had surgery earlier that day, and for some reason, we couldn't control the bleeding, and I was in so much pain. My mom and I thought this would be the perfect time. I was well into the 250s, or close to it, and we both thought this would be a great time to force me to lose weight because she could control what I ate because I couldn't walk, and I wouldn't be able to walk for months. But guess what I did that night? It wasn't enough for me, what she brought me. It just wasn't enough. Now I'm mocking myself, but this is how I thought. I actually got on the ground with this major surgery. I had 1, 2, 4 major incisions and a big stainless steel hook coming out of my foot. And I got on the ground and I crawled to her kitchen, to my mom's kitchen, somehow propped myself up to get the ice cream in the freezer, and stood on one foot and propped myself on the counter so I could binge on her ice cream. That's how strong my drive to eat is. So, and I could have ruined what if I've thought about this later, what if I had driven that thing back into my heel that he had actually cut part of it in half to move it over? I mean, that it's so sick that I did that, but I'm saying that because it shows what I was dealing with. I mean, that's not who I am. That's not how I perceive myself. But that is in my mind. That is the monster in me. The part of me that sabotages all my efforts and desires to lose weight and maintain weight and just be a normal person. That was the kind of thing that I had been dealing with. If anyone can relate to that, I'm not embarrassed anymore. In the past, I would have never told anyone. And now I realize, at least I think, maybe I'm wrong, maybe that can help someone. Maybe someone else can realize if you're that bad like me, bad not meaning a bad person, bad meaning uncontrollable. And if someone like me had such serious issues could lose weight and maintain it, then other people can too. There's no reason that they can't if they want to, if you want to. Let's see. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's all painful. Well, thank you. You have 2 and a half, even worse. Married. Well, no, it's not worse. If you have someone in the house that's like you too, it's actually better because you can buy. I need to put a link in my bio to these food safes that I buy, or devise, and I'm not trying to make money, devise some other way. I bought a secondhand refrigerator on what is it, neighbor next door. Most people have that. And it's a neighborhood, it's a way people sell things in their neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods. It's an app. It's called, well, they call it Nextdoor now. So if anybody is looking to buy like used gym equipment or refrigerator, things like that, I'm trying to help you. I'm telling you, it's a great resource. But I bought a used refrigerator and have it in my garage with a big chain on it and a lock. I don't know the combination. I had to change it from a small chain. It was like a wired chain. And I got these big wire cutters one night in the middle of the night when I was upset about something. And I wanted to get into that refrigerator, and I did. And I cut it. And so now, anyway, there's a big chain that it's impossible for me to cut. But if both of you want to lose weight, get some food safes. Or actually, you know what? I'd have to think about it. I don't know the degree of you said you're both like that. For me, I can't even have saltine crackers in the house. Any kind of crackers, cereal, anything, almost anything processed, especially if it's a grain. Oh my gosh. No control. None. If I have a sleeve of saltine crackers, almost instantly. I mean, I can, and who would think saltine crackers? I've had really good food in my life. I love good food. Saltine crackers, but I can feel it in my brain. As soon as I start eating them, it's like it lights up my brain, and my brain says, oh, that's so much better now. And it makes me feel mentally better and it's not that I feel bad mentally. It just makes me feel better than I already did, no matter how good I feel. I could go to the gym for an hour and a half, work out, have all the endorphins going. But if I eat a sleeve of saltine crackers, I feel even better or higher or whatever you want to call it. So I can't have anything like that. And I hate it. I resent it that I can't be like normal people. I mean, and I shouldn't resent it, but I'm just being honest. That's how I feel. I'm jealous of people that can just eat or that can have saltines or cookies or ice cream and not eat it all at once. I've never understood how people could be like that because I've never been like that. Never. Oh. I've read about EDMR. I need to do that too. I'm glad for you, Tiffany. That's wonderful. You're 50. Well, you can do it. 50 is not old. I'm in the USA. That's true. You're right about people binging too. I think hormone balancing is critical. And I found out that my hormones weren't balanced. I thought my gynecologist was keeping me safe or up to date, and she wasn't. I saw a hormone specialist recently. My T3, my thyroid was extremely low. So anyway, I take a Armour now and progesterone and estrogen, and I wish that I thought that I was so knowledgeable, but it's really important to have a good doctor is all I can say. And balancing hormones is critical for both men and women. It doesn't, if you knew how much I could eat or can eat, there are some foods I can never have at home. Me too, most definitely. But anyway, I need to go, and I love you guys. Thank you, and I'll be back.